All right, welcome back to Slushie Review. This is Keith.
And Chris.
And today we will be talking about Street Fighter 1994. Great movie, greater cast. Can't wait to get into these Street Fighter fights. So good.
Yeah.
This actually was Chris's first time seeing it.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yeah. I don't know how I don't know. I think I'm a video game nerd, but I know I haven't played every fucking video game that exists, so it's hard for me to say that. But I've never seen this movie, and I played a few Street Fighter games. I'm a fan more of like the characters than I am of the games because I'm shitty at the games.
Facts.
So
same.
Yeah, that's where I love Capcom makes a bunch of cool games that I'm terrible at that I think the characters are cool.
They do make some pretty good games.
Yeah, Mega Man, Street Fighter, Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter. They make quite a few franchises that I quite enjoy.
All the Capcom,
all the versus games. Oh, please. Marvel vs. Capcom games, I was actually decent at those.
Oh, really?
Those are the only 2D style fighting games I was halfway good at. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was incredible. You had Marvel superheroes, Capcom video game characters. It was so good. My favorite team was Captain America, Venom, and Mega Man.
Oh, that was when you got 3 people?
Yep, you got 3 people. Because up to that, in the first one you got 2 and a tag in.
Yeah.
Second one you got 3 characters, and then they made a third one where they kept the 3 character thing, but they cut the roster by quite a bit. But you still had some pretty interesting characters in there.
I played that once, and when people would sub in, that's when I would just be like, all right, I'm dead. Because they would sub in with a kick to the face.
Yeah, they cut. Yeah, you wouldn't tag in. They're like, all right, it's my turn. They tag in. You're like, fuck you. Then you were down for a minute.
That's exactly what they said. Fuck you.
And you could do those sweet 3-person tag attacks where everyone just fills the screen with lasers and shit. So good.
Yeah, I didn't get that far.
Mega Man would just turn into a giant robot and just laser your ass to death. Venom would just make teeth come out of the ground, and Captain America would just fucking run into you with a shield. It was great.
No. Didn't get that far.
That's where I started loving Captain America as a character. Because prior to that, I was I don't really know who this guy is.
Not World War II.
He was in the big one. Yeah, I'd seen him in the old Spider-Man cartoon here and there, and I was aware of the character, but I'd never seen him in much. And then I was like, well, this dude's sweet in this game, and I played as him all the time. And then they started making the Marvel movies and everything. I was like, okay, this is my guy, because I could beat ass with him in the video game.
That's fair.
And then they had Chris Evans play him, and I was like, this is a match made in heaven. I'm running with it.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, before we get into it, today's episode is brought to you by Orange Slushies.
Keith is so sad about
it. I don't know why I had a hard time. I'm looking at my slushie I don't know what I want to say.
Making him sad.
Damn it. So, either way, today's episode is brought to you by Orange Slushies.
Delicious.
They are great and delicious. So, before we get into our episode, let me tell you a little bit about our sponsors. No, I'm just joking. No sponsors.
I almost spit out my water.
What was that? Also blossom coming out of my nose.
More surprises today? Damn.
Say yes. Thank you for listening. We definitely appreciate it. Make sure you follow us at Slushie Review on Twitter at Slushie Review. You can also check us out on YouTube. Just search Slushie Review. We pop up. We're the first result. And then check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And also, coming soon, Instagram. Follow us on IG.
The gram.
At Slushie Review Podcast.
Yes.
We just started it. Need some followers, need some likes. All right. So, Street Fighter 1994. Let's get into the cast real quick.
Yes.
First up, Mr. America himself, Jean-Claude Van Damme. He plays Colonel Guile. If you're a fan of the Street Fighter series video games, you understand that Colonel Guile was blonde hair, blue eyes, American, the ultimate American, not Captain America.
No.
He was Colonel America.
Yes.
But that was him. So Jean-Claude Van Damme, they picked the right guy.
Should have been Arnold.
Looking at his profile, Van Damme was born Jean-Claude Camille Francois von Berenberg in Brussels.
Perfect guy to play an American military hero. Not that you can't be that being from another country, but this man has an American flag tattooed on his bicep in this movie.
He does.
And Guile is straight up like an American man.
And he did not change his accent.
Nope.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was like, "You're getting this."
Can
accent.
he? Like
No,
I haven't seen it like any of his movies.
cannot.
Can he? Okay, well
No.
then at least he's not trying.
He cannot.
At least he's not gonna Margot Robbie it up and
No.
fall in and out of it. Yeah, that's right.
Next up, may he rest in peace. We have Raul.
Raul?
Is it Raul?
I think so.
Raul. I don't know what I was saying. Raul Julia. He plays Major Bison, Major M. Bison. This was his last credit. This was his last movie he was ever in. Rest in peace to the guy. He also played Gomez Addams in The Addams Family.
Hey.
And The Addams Family Returns. Addams Family Values is the second one. We could do those.
I'd be down.
Have you ever seen them?
I have, but it's been a minute.
Man, they were good. Christopher Lloyd's in it.
Yes.
I think we talked about that.
Yes, Judge Doom.
We did. So good. Next up, we have Ming-Na Wen. She plays Chun-Li. She was the voice of Mulan in 2008. She was also in the new Mulan, too. I don't know. I didn't see her. I saw her character name, but I wasn't for sure.
Oh.
Next up, he plays Ken. His name is Damien Chapa. He's been in some things, a lot of things I don't think I've ever seen. But that's
What?
Ken. Yeah.
He was in, I'm looking at this thing. He was in a Seagal movie. He was in Under Siege.
So
I thought you liked, I know you, am I
like-
misremembering that you're a
I
Seagal fan?
I like Steven Seagal.
Okay.
I like Steven Seagal.
Okay.
Steven Seagal was in that Steven Seagal movie. If I had to point him out
Okay, that's fair.
with the perfect vision, I'd be like, I see Steven Seagal. Either way. Next up, we have Mrs. Australia herself, Kylie Minogue.
Did you discover that she's Australian?
She is definitely Australian.
Okay.
I'm sure of it. Because she's a singer. You know that, right?
Yes.
Yes. She's definitely a Australian singer. I could be wrong. But she plays Cammy.
No, you're right. She is Australian.
Yeah.
I know she's a singer.
Yeah. She does nothing for this film, but she's in it.
Fair.
But I didn't know she was an actress for the longest time. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know. But because then I found out that she was a singer, and I was like, oh, okay, she was a singer. And then it was like, oh, but she's an actress. And I'm like,
Yeah, I thought she was like just known for being a singer, like
Same.
exclusively.
Same. Next up, we have Simon Callow. He plays an AN director. AN is like the UN of this thing.
Do you think it's Allied Nations?
Is that what
I
it
think
was?
is.
Yeah. He was in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, or the first.
When
is that
Nature
the first
Calls,
one?
the second one.
The second one. He was in When Nature Calls, and that's the only thing I remember him in.
Same.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh yeah, you know who that is."
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I can't wait.
I recognized him immediately.
Same. Next up, we have Byron Mann. He plays Ryu. So we have the team, Ken and Ryu. Are they brothers or
No.
like obviously they're like adopted, but like I thought they were brothers.
I think they're just buddies,
They're just buddies, best friends.
like rivals in some instances.
Oh, he was an Arrow. Nice.
Yeah, he looked very familiar to me, so I looked up some of the stuff he'd been in. I've definitely seen some of the things he's been in. Definitely didn't see Skyscraper.
He was in Rush Hour, the TV show.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I was like, oh, he's in Rush Hour. Wait, they made a show?
I guess.
I guess, yeah.
News to
I'm
keep.
going to say Arrow, Altered Carbon. I definitely watched those. That has to have been what I've seen him in, because I really haven't seen anything else that he's been in.
Nope.
But as soon as he was on screen, I was like, that dude looks really familiar.
He did look familiar, though. Next up, we have Roshan Seth. He plays Dalzeen. we'll talk about him later. Next up, we have Zangief. He's played by Andrew Byron Narski.
Podcast favorite, Zangief.
Is he?
He's my favorite.
Is he really?
In this movie. I also liked him in Wreck-It Ralph.
The funny thing is, he looks familiar. Like, I've seen him in some movies for sure.
He looks familiar. I haven't seen him in anything. Like, I haven't seen anything that he's been in.
Like, all the stuff he's in, he's like this, he's always in the background or something. He's never been like the star.
Yeah. Until now.
Well. Next up, we have Grand L. Bush. He played Balrog, the boxing champion of the movie. He was in Die Hard. That's where I know him from. He was in the first Die Hard. He was Johnson. There's a running gag in Die Hard where the cops are named Johnson, and it was him and it was like a white dude. They both were Agent Johnson, and they were like no relation to make sure they weren't tell people they weren't related. I was like, I think we got it. Next up, as Carlos Blanca, we have Robert Mamone. After that, we have DJ. He is played by Miguel A. Nunez. I love Miguel A. Nunez. He was in Joanna Man. He was also in what movie am I thinking about? He was in Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. Great movie. Have you ever seen Life?
I have not.
Man, it is it's about two dudes who go to jail for a murder they didn't commit. Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. And they go to jail in 1930s Mississippi. So...
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then they get out of jail in like 2000. Well, they escape. They escaped jail in like the 2000s.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, like, they show them living through 80 years of being in jail. So, he's hilarious. He's so funny. I love him. He's been in a ton of movies, though. Let's see. Next up, we have Greg Rainwater. He played T-Hawk. So, he was actually Native American. He did not look it, but he actually was. And so, that's cool. Let's see. Next up, we have Kenya Sawada. He played Captain Sawada. Next up, we have Jade Tavare. He plays one of my favorite characters, Vega. He was great. Next up, as E. Honda, Peter Navy Tuiasosopo. He is Hawaiian, Samoan or Hawaiian.
I think they just said Hawaiian sumo wrestler.
Okay, is Samoa different than Hawaii?
I think
because I don't know.
I think it's closely related. It's like Pacific Island.
Okay.
Bloodlines.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
Because I don't know if there is an actual Isle of Samoa or if that's just something that people in wrestling say. I feel like it's a real thing.
No, Samoa's a real thing for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where the cookies are from? Because they're delicious.
So. I don't think so.
It's their main export.
Yeah. I don't think so. I've seen him in some things before. He hasn't been anything that I can remember offhand. He was in Austin Powers. He was in The Scorpion King. He was in Fast and Furious. Yeah, he was in Batman and Robin.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, so, next up. Wes Studi. He plays Victor Sagat. And then after that, we don't know anybody else. Good for them for being in the movie, but they aren't part of the Street Fighter galore situation.
Wait, you don't know my favorite Street Fighter character? Lonely Cook?
Nope. There's somebody in here uncredited as man. So, nope. I don't.
Man.
Okay, so that was the cast. And next up, we're going to have Chris with the plot?
Jesus.
Young Chris, please.
All right.
Enlighten us.
Oh, God. All right. So, movie, okay.
And that's it.
There's a movie here somewhere. All right. M. Bison has taken, I forget how many people. He's got, like, hostages.
I'd say 46.
From, like, all over. Is it all over the world? Or are they, like, like, Allied Nations hostages?
I don't think they said.
I don't think they said it either. But he's like, I got some people held hostage, and I want $20 billion. And he held his pinky up. Yes, because it's hilarious. He wanted $20 billion ransom to get these hostages back. And you'd think that'd be enough for the plot of the movie, but also he's like a megalomaniac dictator in the country of Shadaloo, where he reigns supreme, and his fucking fortress is decorated with his logos everywhere, and he turns people into weird science experiments that turns them into green cavemen that don't have electric powers. There wasn't much of a plot in this movie, I'm going to be honest with you.
It was very loose.
Yeah, Sagat is introduced, and it turns out he's like a gun runner, he's a weapons dealer, and he's trying to get in with Bison to get on his good side. Bison promises him, I'm going to say, like, some land in the country, or he promises him, like, some status at some point in his organization, I forget. But he wants to give him a deal, so they'll work together. Guile teams up with Ken and Ryu. I don't know how to say it, because in the movie they say Ryu. In everything else since then, it's been Ryu. So I'm going to go with Ryu because that's just what I'm used to hearing. He kind of recruits them to infiltrate Sagat's organization and then Bison's organization. Meanwhile, Chun-Li is a reporter who is working with Balrog and Honda, and they are reporting but also kind of doing spy work for the Allied Nations, or for the government, for the U.S. government, for the U.S. military. I don't know. It got real. There was a lot of things going on here.
Yeah.
Guile's working for the U.S. military. Guile, Cammy, and T-Hawk are working for the U.S. military.
Well, they're working for AN.
Or AN, yeah.
Yeah, he just has an American flag.
Yeah, because they tried to... They're working for the Allied Nations. Ryu and Ken are technically undercover for them, but they're also kind of being forced into it because Guile has their passports. So he can make them do whatever he wants, I guess. I don't know. Or he can steal their identities if he wanted to. It's like there's them and there's Chun-Li's group. Everyone's after Bison and Sagat. Mostly Bison. Guile's also got a personal vendetta in it because Bison, at the beginning of the movie, is just snapping necks, breaking backs.
Cashing checks.
And one of the people he spares is Guile's friend Charlie Blanca. That's his name. So he spares him and decides he's going to mess with Guile by turning him into some weird fucking thing. Human experiment.
It's supposed to be a genetic soldier.
Yes.
He wanted genetic soldiers to rule the world.
And instead he gets, I don't know, something like a lame soldier who decides he'd rather kill himself than be alive at a certain point. That's what accounts for a plot in this movie, honestly. Eventually everyone converges on Bison's hideout, and Bison just decides he's going to fight everybody. But he really only fights Guile. And that's basically it. The good guys win and have a cool freeze frame pose off at the end. Everyone has a nice close off pose off at the end.
Apparently that's from the game.
I guess.
That's what I was reading it. It's from the game. So that's why they did it.
I can't be mad at it. But it also said, I like how the movie's called Street Fighter, and in the opening credits for the thing it said, based on the game by Capcom, Street Fighter 2. So, I mean, Street Fighter 2 is like one of the most remade and re-released games that I'm aware of.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because there's like Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Arcade Edition, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition, Street Fighter 2, like, those are all just like the home releases, and then there was like actually made in the arcades, and then I think that was on like Super Nintendo, and then it's been released so many times after that, like in like digital editions and whatever's. It's been made a million times.
Yeah.
So that's the plot. Let's get into some likes.
Yeah, let's get into some likes. You want to go first?
You want to go?
Either way.
Why don't you go first?
Okay.
You said you had a lot, so I'm going to hold you to it.
I have a few.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Let's like how you said orange slushies were fine earlier.
Same. If I'm not anything, I'm very assertive. No, that's not the word. I can choose pretty well. I don't like to, but I can. I can't. He cannot.
He could.
Okay, so my first Bison's look. I love the way Bison looked. He looked spot on. He was amazing. I've also just been reading the IMDb. So he knew he was sick. I thought he died suddenly. I didn't know. Mm-hmm. He knew he was sick. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew he was sick.
I think he had cancer, didn't he?
He had stomach cancer.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. But yeah, so he was supposed to do different stuff, and the director was like, no, this is what he's doing. But I thought he had a great performance. But his look was just perfect. And that's the one thing I remember from this movie is that, which goes into my second first off, they named off every single Street Fighter character in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
they all showed up.
They really did.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes, every single character that... They didn't say Ken and Ryu's name until later, but they showed up.
But you knew it was them.
Yeah, you knew it was them. A white guy with an Asian guy, it's got to be Ken and Ryu.
Yeah, blonde
Who
guy.
Else would be?
Or he had like blondish, brownish hair, and then a guy with like black hair. Yeah.
We knew what it was.
Who else is it going to be?
So, my second, all the characters in the first 10 minutes, it just... that nostalgia bone that fails everybody really gets hit in the first 10 minutes, and you see everybody. I mean, you got Bison, you got Guile, you got Cammy, you got Chun-Li, you got E Honda, you got Balrog, you got Zangief, you got Dalzim. He kind of shows up a little bit later, actually.
Yeah.
But you also got Sagat, you got Vega, Ken and Ryu, DJ. I didn't really know DJ was a real character until you said it, and I always thought he was just like an off character.
I think he's like a dance fighter guy.
Oh, is that who that is?
I think so.
I don't really know, but that makes sense. Yeah. So you see everybody, then you see Blanca as well.
He was there too, though.
He was there, Charlie. I knew his name was Charlie. Like the first time I ever watched this, I was like, I know that name. And then they actually say the full name, like Charlie. He doesn't call him Charlie. Carlos Blanca.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because when he called him Charlie, there is a different character in Street Fighter named Charlie.
Is there?
I think he's like Guile's brother, or he's his friend. And at some point in the lore, he dies. And he comes back as like a zombie / like
really,
or not like a like Resident Evil zombie, but like a reanimated, somewhat cyborg reanimated corpse. And other times he's just a normal guy. So that's what I thought he was gonna be. And then he was like Blanca. His last name was like fuck. All right, go on, movie.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, that was what those are. The two likes. I have more.
3.
Third like. I specifically wrote this, even though I said all the characters. Vega looks amazing. He looks so damn good. He was my favorite player to play with because he had the knives. He could kick. He could climb the cage.
I thought I remembered him climbing the walls on some of the stages.
On his stage. It was only his stage.
Was
he
it?
Climbed the wall. He climbed it's like a chain link fence, and then he could do a move off of it. He was just so good. He was amazing. I loved him. I thought he looked great. Then he took off the mask, and I know he's supposed to be like a pretty boy.
Yeah.
And he was. He was a handsome guy, and I was just like, this guy. And he had the long braid down the back. You really could. The mask was amazing.
The mask was spot on.
He
The
kept
mask
taking
was
it
good.
off. Every time he was about to fight, he put it on.
The claw kept falling off.
The claw, oh man. Don't take too many hits. That claw will get knocked off. Vega was good. I like Vega.
Vega was good.
Next up, Laboratory. My man Raul Julia kept saying Laboratory. And it just reminded me of Dexter's Laboratory. DD! Stay out of my laboratory.
God.
I loved it. I loved Dexter's Laboratory. It was so good. And the fact that everybody called it Dexter's Laboratory and he called it Laboratory.
Yes.
So good. I know that probably shouldn't be a like, but it was a like for me because every time you said it,
if you liked it,
I loved it.
then yeah,
I loved it.
you want some more of it.
Next one. This is a like. It's not gonna sound like a like. This is a like.
I feel like I know what it might be.
No, I don't think you do. This is a comedy. This is a comedy movie.
It's close then.
Okay, fair.
The thing I thought you were gonna say was it's close.
Okay. My like was that this is a comedy. Upon watching this, we were laughing like a bunch of schoolgirls.
Oh my God.
Because this movie, it's irresponsible.
It was masquerading as an action movie, honestly.
It really was. It was the other guys, but worse. This movie is just, it's a lot.
Yeah, like 20 minutes into it, Ken and Ryu jumped off a building and fucking died.
I was like, did that happen? No. Okay. No, I get what you're saying. Yes, same. This movie was good. I liked the movie. I liked the things in it. I thought the characters looked good. The ending, I never noticed until this watching that I probably should hate this, and I kind of do, but I'm going to say it anyway. Dalzim at the end, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, yes, but that's a little far-fetched. Where'd his hair go?
He got the Gatorade on him.
Where'd the hair go? Like and then he had that thing around his neck.
Yeah.
Did they have that around his neck the whole time?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, because earlier in the movie, when Bison threw him to the ground, he had like the chains like between his hands, and I think they also went up to his neck.
I didn't see the neck part. I saw the hands. I didn't see the neck part until at the end, and I was like, "This is just."
Yeah, because in the games he has like the big bead necklace around his neck.
Or no, it's not a bead. It's like a collar.
Or is it like a chain thing?
Yeah, it's like a collar because he has them around his wrist too.
Oh wait, doesn't he have like a necklace of skulls?
Yeah, he does have that too.
Or is there just a skull?
I think both. I think because he has different outfits and they're the same. Yeah, but like, and then because in the game he also has some chains around his legs too.
Yes, I think
because
you're right
he can stretch. He can stretch really like long. So when I saw him at the end of the movie, I was like, okay, we're getting a little too far. And then where did Baral get the hot shorts from? Like, I was like, okay, where did he get those purple shorts, the purple Daisy Dukes that he had?
That is his outfit.
It is his outfit, but like it came from out of nowhere. Yeah, 3 skulls. Okay,
yeah, he's got the bracelet chain things around his arms.
So yeah, it was a little. It got a little much, but it looked good.
Everyone eventually looked like the characters by the end of it, like more than they did at the start of it.
Oh, absolutely. Especially Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Oh, she looked good, to be fair.
Yeah.
Guile looked cool. Cammy was annoying, but she was fine. E Honda looked good. I like how they went through some kind of fight or whatever. Then he got those red around his eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that blood or is that makeup?
I feel like it was supposed to be played up as blood.
Yeah.
Because in the game, it's like red face paint.
It's just, yeah.
But in this one, he didn't have it. And then he like got hit in the face a couple times.
And then all of a sudden he had some eyeshadow on.
Yeah. Right before he started to fight.
Yes.
I noticed it, like he had the red like winged eyeliner.
Yes.
Way ahead of the time.
He had a wingtip or whatever.
Yeah, like he took his shirt off and like the music came on and I was like, he got some makeup on.
Yep, he did.
He's battle ready.
Yep. Balrog had boxing gloves out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. He just like
thin fucking
ready to
hair.
go. Ready to go.
It could be worse. His titanium Mars could have came off.
Come on.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
What do you want them to do?
Yeah, that's also true. Well, I can tell you. So those are my likes.
Okay.
Let's go into your likes.
Let's
Chris.
do it. All right. First off, I'm going to start with it because it's my favorite one. Zangief was the star of this movie for me. Mm-hmm. He was not the star of the movie by any means, but for me, he looked the best.
He was good
because he had right from the jump he had like him and Bison had like the two closest and as soon as you saw him you knew who they were because Zangief, he had like the mohawk, the shaved mohawk, the beard. You could tell under that jump he was wearing like his red maroon jumpsuit, but you could tell under that jumpsuit he was big. Yep. And as soon as he took it off, he had like all the scars. He had like the big fake chest hair going on.
Yep.
He was a big goon, and he was hilarious. He was just like lining people up for Bison to snap their necks. And what was it? What was happening? They were in the tent after like the little circus show, sideshow thing that Chun-Li's group put on. And they're like, oh, hey, there's like a bomb gonna go off, and it's on the TV.
Yeah.
And he's like, quick, change the channel. I fucking lost it. We both were cracking up. But I was like, this guy gets it. He's dumb, and he is all right with it. And at the end of the movie, he's like, oh, why are you... He's like, wait a minute, Bison's the bad guy. I've been working for the bad guy. And DJ's like, yeah, man, we knew he was a bad guy, but he was gonna... But we were getting what we wanted out of it. He's like, wait, I didn't get anything out of this. What did you get out of this? He's like, he paid me a fortune. And he's like, you got paid? You got paid? And I was like, this man is so loyal. This is a good man. Because it also just reminded me of Wreck-It Ralph. Because when he's... No? Okay. In Wreck-It Ralph... It's like video game characters. Wreck-It Ralph is a game character, but he's the original character made for the movie. He's in a like villain support group, so it's him and not Kano, but it's Kano and a zombie and Zangief and fucking King Bowser. And I think Dr. Robotnik is in there. And Zangief is like, "You're a bad guy, but that does not mean you are bad guy."
I saw that.
And all I could think, I was like, "Yeah, this is a good man," and I love that. Then his fight against E Honda. Yeah, it's just fucking dumb, but I loved it because they finally like the two big dudes in the movie. They're like, all right, they're gonna go at it. E Honda takes his shirt down around the waist and he's got the face makeup on all of a sudden, and him and Zangief just fucking square up. But E Honda has the high ground and he just jumps on top of him, and they like shook the camera to make sure that you knew that E Honda was fat when he fell on it.
Big guy.
And then he fucking power slams him, and a hole opens up in the floor, and they just fall through it.
Fall through the ring.
And then, then like there's people running through a hallway, and they're fighting in the hallway. And then they crash through, like Ken's looking on screens, and he hits a button, and the two of them are fighting in the, was it Bison Land, or like Bison... Topia or whatever, that like the model city that he had set up, and they're legitimately playing the old fucking Godzilla sounds, and they're just like, nah, Godzilla, and literally like kicking down buildings, roar, and I was cracking up, and I just thought that was hilarious. So Zangief is my biggest like of this movie. Next like, I love that you said it and incorporated it, M. Bison and his style, because he had style. Raul Julia was chewing the fucking scenery this whole movie, and he was killing it. And he looked the part. He had the whole outfit. He had the cape, the hat, the
hats.
Yes, and because that's part of my thing is the hat rack. When he had Chun-Li in his chambers, that's where I wrote down M. Bison's style. He had a hat rack with just different kinds and colors of the same style of hat. And he was like, he goes and stands behind that screen like every fucking cartoon character has ever done, and they change clothes. And he puts his cape on, he takes his fucking shoulder pads off and puts them up there, and takes his hat off and puts on a different hat and steps up from behind it, and he just has like a different robe and cape on. Hilarious. And he walks over to his bar in his room and mixes up a couple of drinks in these tall fucking glasses with these spikes around the edges, and he's got a big straw sticking out of it with slices of fruit and his emblem on the top of the straw, like the skull with the wings on it that's on all his hats. Hilarious. His room, same room, has the bar, has a giant skull fireplace with wings on it, has different paintings of himself in his full outfit. Like one of them he's riding a horse, the other one's like some weird Picasso clown painting of himself.
Yep.
He had style, and I was loving it. I thought Raul Julia killed it, and
it was great.
Also the fact that this is like the last thing he ever did, I'm going to give it up for him for acting in a movie with, at that stage, terminal stage cancer.
Yeah.
Good for him. It's a like.
Absolutely.
Next like, Vega and his fans and his whole intro. When he's walking through the crowd at that cage fight, throwing roses into the crowd, everyone's like, Vega, Vega, oh my god, look over here. And he takes off his mask and they all swoon, and he puts his fucking claw on, and then they rip Ryu's shirt off, because he's in the cage to fight Ryu. And they rip Ryu's shirt off, and like 3 of the women throw their Vega signs away, and they're like, Ryu, we love you! And he gets this disgusted stank face on. He takes his mask off to like make a face and puts it back on. Classic. And he was doing like the only move that I remember him having aside from that cage climb at the end when he was fighting Ryu was that like forward roll into the claw stab. He did it like 3 times. Yeah. Because I don't know what else he would have done that I would have recognized, but he did it, and I was liking it. And every time he got punched a couple times, his claw came off. And then they were in the fucking prison camp, and he had a prison claw made of like bamboo, and I don't know, still had claws on the end of it. But he just like pulled it out of nowhere and tried to kill somebody with it. Ridiculous. Next, like, it was super campy.
Yes.
And it was funny whether it was trying to be or not, because it was, in some instances, it was definitely trying to be. And when I feel like when it tried, it failed. But when it maybe didn't try so hard, it succeeded.
Name one time it tried and failed.
Anytime Jean-Claude Van Damme's character made a joke, I didn't really find it that funny.
I think that was him.
And I just
think it was him.
But yeah, but I didn't find him that funny. But like when it was other shit, like when E Honda jumps on Zangief and they shake the camera, or you know. I mean, sometimes, like, the Godzilla thing was obviously them trying to be funny, and it was fucking hilarious.
It was hilarious.
But the camp factor was great, and it was funny, and it was making me smile. And I loved that by the end of the movie, pretty much everyone looked like, at least more like their character than they started out to be. Cammy went from wearing, like, a military outfit to wearing the top half of her game outfit, because if she was wearing her whole game outfit, they would have had to change the rating of this movie probably. Because that leotard would have been far up there, and like Guile of course couldn't have that weird fucking flat top, but like E Honda had the face makeup and had the shirt down. Blanca was green, even though by the end of the movie he was dead. Dawson got the Gatorade poured on his head, and instead of mutating he just went bald. Ken and Ryu got their white and red outfits. Chun-Li had, even though it was red, she had her outfit with, like, she had her little bun hairdo and the skirt outfit and her fucking spike bracelets. Balrog was in his boxing outfit. Sagat even had a giant scar across his chest at the end of the movie because someone fucked him up. Yeah, like, everyone pretty much, if they didn't start out looking like their character, they looked like it by the end, and I like that. So that's my last like. Now, it's time for some dislikes.
You ready to get some dislikes?
Yeah.
I'm reading a couple things. One, did you notice that Dhalsim had some chemicals poured on his arms and legs?
I didn't notice it was on his arms and legs. I just noticed it was like directly on his head and face, and I'm guessing he like put his.
Bald?
I'm guessing.
Okay. Yeah. No. They said that it got on his that's foreshadowing his stretching limbs move.
That didn't make it into the movie.
No, well, for the sequel.
Yeah. Well, because when they were pouring it on him, I was like, is he gonna breathe a fireball in that dude's fucking face?
That'd be hilarious.
He didn't.
Secondly, yes, you were correct. It was Blanca and Charlie were two different characters, and they put them together.
Yeah, I thought Blanca was like some weird jungle man.
Yeah, he's more of a monster.
Yeah.
And then it says there's a post-end credit scene.
What?
We did not see that.
Does it say what it is?
No.
I kind of want to. No, I both do and don't want to know what it was.
How about we take a minute and look it up?
Okay.
Pause. Okay, and we're back. It wasn't worth it for me.
No, it kind of made me sad.
Yeah.
Because it was, like you said, it was a setup for a sequel.
Yeah.
Which seemed like it was going to be bringing back Bison.
Yeah.
And then Royal Julia passed away, so they...
But I'm pretty sure that's not the reason why they didn't do a sequel.
Yeah, I mean...
Speaking of, let's get into some dislikes.
Let's get some more reasons why they didn't.
I went first on likes.
Okay, I'll go first on dislikes. Alright, first dislike for me, Blanca. He looked like shit.
Yeah.
They didn't need to do, like, weird... I don't know, maybe they did. The weird prosthetics didn't look great. The fact that they made him talk like a cave person was weird. The way they were, like, reprogramming him by, like, just showing him people getting murdered was odd.
A little bit.
Also, he didn't get electric powers.
No.
That's like his whole gimmick is like he's green.
Yeah.
His two things that he does is be green and electrocute people.
Right.
And he did one of those things,
Yeah.
and he did one of them forgettably. He has one job, and he did it forgettably.
Sad.
And they mutated him with like fucking different flavors of Gatorade, I guess. He looked weird, and it was weird. And the fact that Guile came all the way there to save him, saw what he had become, and just reached for his gun and was gonna fucking put him out of his misery. He was like, I'll save you, buddy. And was it Dawson was like, don't do that. And then they both fucking died anyway.
No, they didn't die.
I thought they stayed behind on the island when in the fortress as it exploded.
They escaped, but I don't think they died.
Oh.
I didn't think it is. I assumed that. I thought because he was like, come with me, and he was like, no, he should come with me so that he can not be alone.
I just assumed that they died.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I didn't see them later. My next dislike, Guile.
Yeah.
I thought he was lame, honestly. Like, it's not Jean-Claude Van Damme's fault that he was born in another country and has a heavy accent and was cast to play an all-American man. That's not really my problem. I just thought Guile was fucking boring. He did the only cool thing he did was when he was fighting Bison, he did that flash kick twice. And that was it. Yeah. I just thought he was kind of a bummer. My favorite part of the Street Fighter series was when Guile drives a fucking boat through a minefield, and they put that in the movie, and it was perfect. Doesn't fucking happen in the game. Thought it was dumb, and it was just like him sitting in a chair for like a while playing home movies on like a video screen. Like he reached and put like a tape in and was like watching something. I thought Guile was lame.
He definitely did that.
They he faked his death to, make Sagat think that he was dead so that Ryu and Ken would get credit for killing him. And then he lies on a table in a morgue waiting for Chun-Li to come discover his corpse.
I thought the same thing.
Like, he's just going to lay there and then she uncovers him and he's like, haha, you're under arrest. Because I knew you'd come, I guess. I don't know. Dumb. I thought Guile was lame.
Yeah.
Next dislike was Dhalsim. He does two things in the games. He stretches and he breathes fire, and he did neither of those things in this movie.
Yeah.
And instead they made him like a philosophizing scientist who's being held against his will to mutate a man into a green monster. I mean, there's doing characters weird, and there's just making shit up. So you can name a character Dhalsim. They could have just made him an unnamed scientist. It didn't need to be Dhalsim.
To be fair,
in my opinion,
what's his background?
I thought his background was he was like a yoga man from India. Because like his fire moves are called like yoga fire and yoga flame. I just thought that's what it was about. I thought that like he studied did enough yoga that he just like became stretchy. What?
Nothing. I'm laughing at you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was just.
No, you're good. I thought you like saw something and were like, you were so wrong. But no, it's like that's what I thought he was, and it really didn't need to be him in the role of the scientist. It could have been literally just an unnamed scientist, and instead he got the shit kicked out of him by that dude who looked like Jake the Snake, who he decided to reprogram Blanca while that guy was looking at a nudie mag, I guess, and was looking at his centerfold.
Yeah.
In the middle of the day, on the clock, he didn't care.
Listen.
But Dawson didn't need to be Dawson in this instance, and I thought it was kind of weird.
You are correct. He was a yoga master. You are not wrong.
I thought that, but I'm me. I could be wrong about anything.
Anybody can be wrong.
Next dislike. Not enough fighting. In a movie called Street Fighter, we went, like, the first hint of a fight you got was going to be Ryu versus Vega.
Yes.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme fucks it up by driving a tank through the building and arresting everybody. We don't get, like, another hint of, like, a fight scene for almost until the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. Like a real fight scene. There's, like, some action sequences of, like, a truck escape, like car chase, truck chase. Chun-Li jumps out a window. And then there's no fighting until, like, the end of the movie. Because I wouldn't count Raul Julia snapping two people's necks at the beginning of the movie as a fight scene. That was just dramatics. Yeah. That was him being a super villain.
Fair.
Because it's all about the presentation.
Well, no, Chun-Li doesn't do anything. Yeah.
No, because she's a reporter. Yeah. Like, she's just a mild-mannered reporter. And then she gets captured and she puts on her all-black jumpsuit and runs away from Guile after she discovers his not dead body. Because Bison, the whole movie's like, oh, yeah, you're not a fighter. Yeah. You hide behind your sumo and your boxer.
You are correct.
And I know women, and you're weak. And then she, like, fucking jump kicked the shit out of his face. And then he trapped everybody in the room in a Saturday morning cartoon cliche. And I loved that, too. And I forgot to say it, but I loved it. Those are my dislikes.
Okay.
I thought those characters were particularly poor. There was not enough fighting in a movie where fight is in the name of the movie. Also, no tournament. No, that's not a real. Got him. That's not a real dislike for me.
This whole fucking recording.
But those are
flipping tables in this bitch.
Those are mine. What are your dislikes, Keith?
First dislike, I wrote, the story is ... Because they were saying a lot and also saying nothing at the same fucking time. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not... And then at some point, like you said it, you're like, man, this is weird. This show's called Street Fighter. And I was like, well, that's fair. They aren't fighting anybody. No one's doing a thing.
No.
They all look great, and they do nothing. And I was just like, man, what is going on? They're like, he wants $20 billion. Okay, got that. For 48 hostages. Seems like a lot.
Yeah.
And as somebody who's never been a hostage, I would definitely want somebody to pay $20 billion for me. Also, if someone was like, but $20 billion, I'd be like, I get it.
Yeah, like
but I still want you to do it.
Yeah, like I know I'm not worth it, but you should think I'm worth it.
Yes. So, the plot was very, and I really, in movies like this, I don't care about the plot if there's fighting.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But they made a point of like being very plot heavy at a certain chunk of the movie,
as opposed to
the first half.
This was street hostage taker, not street fighter.
Street talker.
Yeah. And then even at the end, when they started fighting, there was a decent amount of fights, to be fair. But it wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
It wasn't great at all. It wasn't like Mortal Kombat that was great.
Yeah.
The first or the third one.
Yeah.
To be fair. Honestly, there were more fights in the second one than Street Fighter. Yeah. I don't want to give that any credit.
Let's not.
But I have to. So, yeah, again, don't have a plot. I'm cool with no plot, but give me something. You got to give me more action than them breaking out of prison and fake killing Guile. Like, I don't care. Like, and the action wasn't enough. Like, it wasn't okay. We talked about Fast and Furious off camera. We talked about Fast and Furious. There's a lot of action, a lot of driving fast, a lot of maneuvers, jumping off of buildings, in cars, driving on ocean ice, whole bunch of shit. The Rock taking off a gun off of a helicopter with no trigger.
I remember you telling me about that.
And all this stuff, and it's like, wow, wait, what's going on? Doesn't matter.
Who cares?
And I feel like The Rock would say that it doesn't matter what's going on.
What's the plot of this movie? Oh, it doesn't matter what the plot of the movie is, jabroni.
But in this movie, Street Fighter, it's what's going on. Also, when are they going to fight? It's not, oh, I ran a car through the building, and he comes out looking tired. And I got a Street Fighter trivia for you, too. He comes out looking tired, and he goes, "You're all under arrest. I'm an American." I can't do his voice.
He drove through the building. I was like, "Oh, here comes the USA."
Yeah, same. Here comes the USA. He sounds like he's from Brussels
to save everyone from themselves.
Same. Next dislike. Sorry. It was dubbed at some points. I don't know if you noticed.
I noticed a little bit.
It was only one character, and I read about it. I read why. The Kenya Sawada, he played Captain Sawada. He doesn't speak English.
Oh,
that's cool, but why?
I don't know.
Like, why was he important enough to have lines?
As far as I'm aware, he's not a game character.
He becomes one. I read that too.
Does he? Is that your trivia thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Who is he?
Sawada.
Oh.
He became. Yeah, I read it. It was like he becomes Captain Sawada in the game, and then the guy voices him. And I was like,
the same dude?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because his real name is Sawada.
Yeah.
That's his real name. It's him. He's playing himself. He's not playing anybody else.
So he like Sergeant Slaughtered it. Like he became a character.
I guess.
Huh.
Yeah. Listen, news to me.
Same.
But I was like, but I noticed it was dubbed a couple times, and I'm like, And then I read that it was dubbed because he doesn't speak English. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. But also it doesn't. But I think what they were trying to do, if I could guess, they were trying to say the AN was like a combination of different countries. And so you got Cammy American, Gaio American, Sawada, I think he's Japanese, and then everybody else, I guess.
T-Hawk,
who's he was
Native American.
He was American. But yes, he was.
A lot of America.
A lot of America, except for the one guy who doesn't speak English. I mean, to be fair, Jean-Claude Van Damme didn't speak English. So, yeah, about that.
Are there any South Americans in this AN? Are there any Canadians? Any
Vega is Spanish, actually. So that's not South America.
From Spain. He's European, but he's evil.
You're right. Yeah. Was he? Yeah,
he was a bad guy.
I guess he
working
was.
For Sagat.
Yeah, I guess he was a bad guy. But who wasn't at this point? So.
Fuck, I don't even know. I don't even remember. Everyone was kind of a dick at a certain point.
At some point, yes, you are absolutely correct. That's exactly what happened. Yeah. So, my next dislike. Blanca.
There it is.
He looked like the Hulk from the 70s. We're 20 years removed from him looking like that. And
20?
It's from the movie.
Oh,
from
okay.
the 70s to the movie being made.
Okay, I thought you meant from the 70s. Like, we're 50 years removed from that.
That's also fair. He looked trash. Mm-hmm. And I hated it. And I forgot how bad it looked. I knew it looked bad, and I was like, oh,
I knew it wasn't going to look good.
As soon as they said Blanc, I was like, I can't wait to Chris sees this bullshit.
Yeah, because once they said Blanc, I was like, oh no, they're going to paint him green.
Yeah, then when I saw it, I was like, shit, I forgot it's this bad. Like, I knew it was bad. Like, a 0 out of 10, I knew it was bad. Mm-hmm. but it's like a -5. Like, I forgot just how bad it was. So, either way. Yeah. So that just Blanca, man. There's some things you can do, some things you can't. X-Men did the Beast pretty well, in my opinion, with John Larroquette. Or no, Kelsey Grammer.
Yes. 100%.
They did him really well. This movie did not.
No.
This movie... What was worse, Reptile in the first Mortal Kombat or Blanca? And that's tough because one of them was CGI and the other one probably should have been CGI. What say you?
All right. Better. Neither of them was good.
Not at all.
So this is going to be a question of which was just plain no worse. I would give worse to Blanca.
Same.
Because Reptile looked bad when it was CG, and then when you just made him a ninja, it was fine.
Fine. Well, I get what you're saying, but yes.
Like, fine. He did. Like, I know the mask was dumb. Because the mask was dumb.
0 out of 10.
And he didn't use any of his powers.
He did.
But he at least had put on a good fight scene. Blanca looked like crap. Didn't use any of his powers. But also didn't get any fight scenes.
He choked up Guile before Guile almost killed him.
That's it.
His best friend.
But that's it.
Yeah. So that is my whatever. I wrote CGI. I don't know why.
The boat. The stealth boat.
Oh,
that's why you did. Because I remember you saying it. You're like, look at that invisible boat CGI.
You're absolutely correct. You were absolutely right. Oh, talk about bad CGI. This movie. We always ask the question here on Slushie Review: could you do better? I believe I could. And I know nothing about making
by leaving out the boat scene entirely.
1000%. And Blanca.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, same. Okay. I know you said you liked it. I
liked what?
This next thing.
Oh.
My next dislike. I know you said you liked it. It's not that I hated it.
Oh, no.
But Zangief versus...
Yeah, I knew it was going to be that.
Fucking dinosaur shit. I'm not even mad about it, but I was like, this is dumb.
It was dumb.
So dumb and cheesy.
It was dumb, but it made me laugh.
And it just... They were big guys, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But come on. I just couldn't take it.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
Like, if Zangief had not been played as comic relief up to that point, I probably would have been like, what the fuck?
Yeah, fair.
But he definitely was
fair.
like a goon.
He was. I like Zangief.
I thought he was great. I already said it. I thought he was the star of the movie for me.
He was good. Julia's my favorite.
And then he held up that fucking door.
Yeah.
When the door was closing,
Like,
he's like,
Wonder Woman?
he just lifted it up. Yeah, like an Amazon, he's lifted it up. And then Ken and Ryu fucking acted like they were helping him.
We got you.
Yeah.
All right, you got it.
Yeah. Crushable door.
Those two idiots. Okay, those are my dislikes.
Okay.
So you said you had a little trivia for us.
Yes. So I think it's in the original Japanese release of the games, some of the characters' names were different.
Mm-hmm. I read that.
M. Bison, as we know him, is Vega.
Yep. Shadaloo Vega.
Yes.
His name.
Because Balrog, as we know him, his name was M. Bison. But because it's similar to M. Tyson, Mike Tyson, a boxer, they were like, oh, we might get sued. Better change that shit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, yeah, and Vega is Balrog.
Yeah.
So in the Japanese version, Balrog has a mask and claw. Vega is the red cape man, and Bison is the boxer. Not Mike Tyson, Mike M. Bison.
That's fair.
It's close. But they change it up. I don't know why they changed the other ones.
That's fair.
I know they changed the boxing one because they were like, we might get sued.
That makes sense, actually, now that you say that. So speaking of changing things in Japanese, this has nothing to do with Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Were you upset when they changed Shoot. Not Mr. Mime. What am I thinking of? She didn't sing. Damn it. When they changed the character in the Pokemon game because it looked like the character was doing blackface.
Jinx?
Jinx.
Wait, what do you mean? Was I upset about it? Or?
Yeah, because they changed it.
Yeah, because now it's purple instead of black.
Yeah. Well, they changed it when it came to America. And then when everyone found out it was still the same in Japan, they changed it as well.
Yeah.
So, did you have a thought about it? Or?
Well, I know that at one point they claimed it was based on a fashion trend in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Where it was like...
Where they did blackface.
Well, like, honestly kind of close. If I remember right, it was called Ganguro. It was like a fashion trend. I don't know if it was long-lived or short-lived. But it was like the women would wear either bleach blonde wigs or they'd bleach their hair. And they would darken their skin to like look like they were just really tan. And I guess someone decided to make a Pokemon out of it. I don't know where the lips came from. If it was just like lipstick or if they were just like, hey, let's make this offensive. I also looked something up about like what's it based on. And the first thing that came up was something from Japanese folklore, the Yuki-onna or Snow Woman, which was like a ghost, like a yokai. Like a Japanese spirit thing that would kill people. But so to answer your question, what was your question again?
How did you feel about it?
When I discovered what it was based on?
No, when you found out they changed it.
I was like, good.
No, that's fair.
Because if it was based on something that wasn't meant to be offensive, that's fine. But if people took offense to it and they were like, hey, let's maybe change this, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because fair. Now it's purple.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't really appear in a lot of media.
No.
Like in the games, it's purple, and it shows up in the games. It wasn't in Detective Pikachu.
No.
It was like in the anime, I think maybe once or twice.
Yeah, it wasn't a popular Pokemon anymore.
Because it was never popular.
No.
It was dumb.
Exactly. So my thoughts on it when I first read about it, I was like, yeah, I've always noticed it kind of looked like that, but whatever. It's not my culture. But then I found out this could be a rumor, it could not be true, whatever. But I kind of read somewhere that they knew that it was offensive in America, which is why they changed it when it came to America, and they not made fun of it, but they knew it was offensive. But they were like, whatever, we don't care. Like at first, when it first came out in the 90s, they were like, oh yeah, we knew it was offensive, but we didn't care. But they changed it in America because they knew it wouldn't go over well. But they really didn't change it that much, though.
Not really.
Because, like, in America, it was still kind of problematic, but in Japan, it was wildly problematic. Like, it was just, like, subtle differences. And I was like, okay. To be fair, though, I don't want to put this all on Asian culture because I'm not. But there are a lot of videos out there where they do a lot of like plays and stuff, and they do a lot of like reenactments of things. And when it comes to a black person, they definitely paint their skin a lot. I've seen so many videos of like being in Japan and they're doing like some kind of celebration, and the person's supposed to be black, and they'll put on like afro wig and literally the pitch black paint, like, and they'll just be looking like, oh, we're good. We're just out here being bros. So yeah, I don't know. It just made me think of it when we were talking about changing things in Japan. So just figured I asked what you thought. That's all.
That's fair.
Yeah,
because there's definitely like there's always weird shit
something
out there.
right.
There's always something. Yeah,
true. So either way, Slushie Meter.
Oh boy.
Sir. Man. What was that, 5?
No, that was not. It's not a 5. So it's decided I'm going
6.
first, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, I'm sorry.
You want me to go first?
No,
I'll go first.
I'll go.
I'm ready.
I'll go. 2.5.
Same. 2.5. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Close, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
But it really only gets points for making me laugh and
yes,
being campy.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And only because they all look good.
Yeah.
Because even in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which was another trash movie, they all didn't look great. They looked okay.
They mostly looked close. Shao Kahn had the right costume, but they had the wrong dude in that costume.
Same. But that matters.
Didn't help. Because like Raul Julia wasn't a big guy, but like he had the cape and he had like the shoulder pads. Exactly. They made him big. They didn't have, and they also had like him and Zangief were made, even if they weren't necessarily taller than everybody in the movie, they were made to look taller. Yes. They were head and shoulders above all the scientists and all the hostages. They were towering over him. It wasn't, you know, I'm M. Bison and I had to look up and talk to you to threaten you and then break your neck. No, like they had it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that is exactly how I feel. And I was like, okay, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, another trash movie that I'm comparing it to. As much as I like Human Sub-Zero, when he had his mask on before he took it off, it looked like his mask didn't fit. Like like if you look up pictures of the Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, like he looks like he bought it off the store.
Yeah, like they're getting ready for him to take it off.
Yeah.
So probably like, it doesn't fit. It doesn't matter. You're only going to wear it for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
It's like wearing last year's Halloween costume.
Through the air, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
When Ray Park replaces you, you'll be fine.
So I literally like it because I'm not even nostalgia, but they all look good. But they do none of the moves.
No.
E Honda gets a little slap in.
He does do the little slaps. Ryu almost does a Hadouken. He makes the hand motion and there's a flash, but there's no fireballs.
No, there's not.
Guile does the flip kick, but there's no like energy thing that comes off it. He doesn't do a sonic boom. Dawson doesn't breathe fire. Zangief didn't even do his like spinning lariat. He didn't suplex anybody. I thought he was picking Honda up and Honda was fucking picking him up, so I was a little sad about that.
Ryu did the uppercut, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Or not Ryu, I'm sorry, Ken.
Yeah, it didn't set him on fire. Neither of them did the. Oh shit! Tatsumaki Senpukyaku, the tornado kick.
He kind of did it. I forgot which one it was, but they kind of did something.
Like there was a lot of roundhouse kicks.
Yeah, but maybe that was Guile, because he was kicking the shit.
Chun-Li didn't do any of her kicks. She didn't do like the rapid kick. She didn't do the spinning bird kick. She didn't do any of the like her signature moves.
I think they were trying to. I think that's where Mortal Kombat, the first one, got it right. They saw this movie and were like, "Oh, you're trying too hard." No. This is about fighting.
Instead, let's have a four-armed man.
Yeah, like absolutely. They were like, "No, you're trying too hard.
Yeah,
you're trying too hard to make them human."
Like, no one did their Raiden had electricity powers. Sub-Zero was freezing people, and Scorpion had that weird fucking lizard thing in his hand. He had it, and he breathed fire.
Yeah, he breathed fire.
But like Johnny Cage wasn't out there.
He took off his thing and showed us.
And he was Ghost Rider.
Yep.
Johnny Cage wasn't out there throwing energy balls and doing like green flash kicks. He was just punching in the nuts.
And the new one, Sonya Blade did have the purple rings.
Yup. And it was good.
No one gave her credit for that.
And it was cool.
I don't understand. My brother said, I'm so upset about this Mortal Kombat thing. My brother said that they did Cabal dirty. First off, Cabal looks sweet.
He had super speed and hook swords, and he looked good. What more is there?
So damn good.
For someone who doesn't know a ton about the character, but I thought he looked cool, what else do you want?
Yeah, same.
And that's been your major argument the whole time, and I 100% agree. Yeah. What more is there that they could have done?
Same. I think they wanted. I think a lot of people wanted Liu Kang to be the main character, but again, that's nostalgia failing you. You want the same thing that you got before,
right?
But you didn't like the one you got before because it was 95, so they gave you something better.
Yeah,
but you still want the one before.
Especially in the recent games, like Scorpion has become like the main focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of a lot of the recent games.
Yeah. He's the most popular.
This one was like, you got his history at the beginning, and then like the new character who's the main dude is in his bloodline, and then he gets to come back and get his revenge on Bihan. Awesome.
Same.
He's the guy.
And no one talked about him turning into Noob Saibot.
Because when you think about who's like the most iconic dude in Mortal Kombat, I bet your first answer out of yours, because I know you like Liu Kang, but more often than not, it's probably not going to be Liu Kang. It's probably going to be fucking Scorpion.
It's literally between like 3 or 4 people. It's either Liu Kang,
Scorpion,
Sub-Zero.
Maybe Goro, just because he's got 4 arms and he's like
maybe
different.
Johnny Cage.
Yeah,
I think that's more of like a oh, okay, he's American, blah, blah.
Yeah, like he's
whatever.
like the guy that you could see. Yeah. But
that dumb stuff.
Yeah, but like it's Scorpion. Like if you're like, oh, who's the main character of Street
Or
Fighter?
Raiden,
But if like who's the main character of Street Fighter? The movie, Guile. The games, not fucking Guile.
Ken and Ryu were in the games.
Yes,
the main people.
they were like the main dudes, or in some cases Chun-Li even.
And I honestly didn't even like either of them because I told you Vega was my guy.
There you go.
Vega was my
I was
guy.
never Ken and Ryu guy. I was E Honda, and in more recent years, Zangief 100%.
Oh really?
Because he's fucking cool.
I used to be Blanca, but I only like to do the little car thing. That was fun. The little test your might thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The secret stage, they're the bonus stage where you just beat the shit out of the car, and then if you do it all the way, some dude is like, my car!
Yeah,
and
great.
then you get points.
Yeah. That's it.
Man, watching this movie did kind of make me want to play a Street Fighter game, but I know I wouldn't have a good time in it.
No, not at all.
I would play for a little bit on like easy mode and be like, hey, I'm good. Then I'd like turn it up one notch.
Medium.
Destroyed.
Yeah, same.
Or I think I'm doing good, and then I get to the final boss, which is always notoriously cheap. Especially the newer ones. Oh my god, they're so cheap.
What do you mean by cheap?
Like, just dirty. Like how Shao Kahn used to be in Mortal Kombat, where like,
okay.
you know,
so
like even if you're good, he can still just like dirt you and like no sell your moves and punch you through it. Whereas the bosses in the like Street Fighter game, the last one that I played, I think it was Seth. He's like a dude with a fucking yin yang in his tummy. He would just beat the living shit out of you. Like, and you could be anywhere on the screen and just fucking hit you.
That's honestly how I felt about Scott Pilgrim when the twins came up. And you had to climb up those towers, the building. I was like, I can't do this.
Oh, when the robot was...
Yeah. And then I did it.
I stopped trying to hit the enemies. I just ran. Because there's certain times I was like, let's fight. And it was like, no, you just if you stop for a punch, you're probably going to fall.
I never tried to fight them. The first time, I was like, oh, they're going to stop me from getting up there. Okay, cool. So just run. But I was jumping instead of running because, like, running, I kept getting caught.
Yeah.
For some reason.
So you have to, like, jump kick to the stairs, run up the stairs, jump kick to the stairs. In case someone tries to get in your way, they're just taking it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what it was.
Yes.
All right. So that was Street Fighter.
Yes.
Street Fighter. 2.5s all around.
I enjoyed watching it, but
it was great.
Doesn't mean it's going to get a good score necessarily. Necessarily.
Not at all. It shouldn't. No. And it doesn't deserve it.
No.
So that's fine.
It doesn't deserve it.
So next up, we don't know.
Yeah.
And then you'll find out when we find out. Good times.
Day of.
So, but really, we want to thank you guys for listening to Slushie Review. Like I said, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And then you can find our podcast anywhere you find other podcasts. We appreciate a like and a subscribe. That'd be amazing. Let's see. Anything else we forgot about for Street Fighter?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither. I got nothing else. Okay.
See it for Zangief, if nothing else.
What?
I'd see the movie for Zangief, if nothing else.
I didn't think. I forgot he was that funny. He was hilarious.
I did. I was not expecting him to be comedy relief, and he was great.
He was so good. So either way, let's go ahead and get out of here. This has been Keith
and Chris.
We'll see you next time.